Hello friends, in this session we are going to discuss about basic statistics. Statistics for common people means storage and analysis of data. Now before I get into various terminologies regarding statistics, let me put down some numbers for you. Here I will demonstrate a set of numbers. Further to which we will learn basic terminologies of statistics. Okay? Now let's see the numbers here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5 and 25. Now how many numbers are there? Let's count these numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 numbers. So there are 10 numbers in this set, and everything that we are going to do from now on for the next few minutes will be based on this set of numbers. So there are 10 numbers. Okay. Now what we are trying to do is try and define a few terms in statistics. The most important term in statistics is what is called mean, or in common man's parlance, average. So mean is what? Mean is the sum of all numbers in the set divided by the number of numbers. Okay. Now let us look at the sum of all numbers in the set. What is the sum of all numbers? 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 3, 11, 14, 18, 22, 27, and then you have 25, you get 52. And there are how many numbers? We just calculate those numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So the mean of this set is 52 divided by 10, or 5.2. 5.2. Now what does mean indicate? Mean is actually a measure of central tendency. It tells us that the average of these numbers is 5.2, or that whatever be the number that comes here, it will all try and converge to 5.2. Now what does that mean? Does that mean the middle term of this particular series is 5.2? Let's check that out. Okay. Now this is already written in the ascending order. Now if we actually write this down in descending order or ascending order, what is the middle term? That is of very important understanding as far as statistics is concerned. That particular term is called median. Median. Now let's look at the median here. Okay. Now how many numbers are there? There are 10 numbers. Okay. Now if you look at the central number or the middle number, it would have to be the fifth number, isn't it? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 4. There are 4 numbers before 3, and if you count now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers beyond this 3. So 3 is not as the central number. Now look at this 3. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers are there to this side, and to this side there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Okay. So in both cases, it doesn't add up to the middle term. So what do we do? In case of a set of numbers having even numbers, even number of numbers, then the median will be the sum of the two middle terms. Sum of the two middle terms divided by 2. Here, which are the middle terms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a middle term. 6 is also a middle term. 7, 8, 9, 10. How do we know these are two middle terms? If you take these two numbers together, then there are 4 numbers before them and 4 numbers after them. So these are the two middle numbers. And what will be the median here? Here it is 3 plus 3 divided by 2, which is 3. Now compare with the previous value. What did we get as the value for mean? Mean was 5.2 and the median is 3. Now there are different situations wherein you will actually use mean and median, because mean basically tells you what it is converging to, the whole set, whereas the median will tell you what is the middle value when you arrange it in the increasing or decreasing order. Both of these measures have their own uses that fall under the advanced statistics scenarios. So we will discuss those when we discuss advanced statistics a little later. Now these are two things that you need to know: mean and median. And mean and median need not be the same value at all. In most of the cases they will not be the same value. Generally we see that when we say mean, we would mean that it will be the middle value of the two numbers that we see, the lowest and the largest numbers, the smallest and the largest numbers. Here if we take the smallest and the largest numbers, smallest number is 1, largest number is 25. So the average will be 25 plus 1 by 2, 13, whereas the mean is only 5.2. What does this indicate? This indicates that mean can be affected by single very large or small values which are not seemingly close to the remaining group, and that is where the importance of median comes in. Okay, when we use mean and median in statistics, these are the small differences that actually matters. It depends on what you're trying to find out. Okay. Now there are a few other terms that we need to understand as far as basic statistics are concerned. Exactly two of them. Now the next one is mode. Mode is the value that appears the maximum number of times in the set. Mode is the value that appears the maximum number of times in that set. 1 appears only once, 2 appears twice, 3 appears thrice, 4 appears twice, 5 and 25 appear only once. Now it is very clear what is the mode of the set. The mode of the set is the value 3, which occurs 3 times. And finally, we look at one more measure of a basic statistics measure, which is called range. The range of this set basically means the difference between the smallest and the largest value. It is the difference between the smallest and the largest value. It is largest value minus smallest value. In this case, it is 25 minus 1, that is 24. 25 minus 1, that is 24. So the range of the series is 24 and the mode of the series is 3. Okay, or the set of numbers as we call it. So we found out what are the 4 values which corresponds to basic statistical measures for the set. Let us recall all of them. Mean 5.2, median is 3, mode is also 3, and the range is 24. These are the 4 basic values that we need to look at when we discuss about basic statistics. Okay? Now let us see how problems appear as far as basic statistics is concerned, and then we will work out a particular problem and see how all this will help us. Okay? Now let us look at a particular problem. Okay? In a set of 5 numbers, the median is 7. The median is 7. The mode is 1. The mode is 1. And if the range is And if the range is 10, what is the largest possible average of the set? Largest possible average of the set. Now look carefully at this question. There are 5 numbers in this set of numbers. The median is 7. The mode is 1. And if the range is 10, what is the largest possible average of the set? This is the question. Now all terms given here are familiar to us. We just discussed those. Okay. Now let us see how we go about solving this problem. Let's see. We will arrange this particular set of numbers in the ascending order. How many numbers are there? 5 numbers. We know the mean will be the sum of these 5 numbers divided by 5. And what will be the median here? In the example that we discussed earlier, there were 10 numbers and the median was the average of the middle 2 terms. But in case the number of numbers in a set is an odd value, then the middle term is the median. The middle term is the median. Okay. Now, once we have understood that the middle term is the median, we will put that value here, 7. We know that the median value is 7. Now, we know that the mode is 1. Mode is 1. Now, mode means the number that appears the maximum number of times in this set. So there are 5 different possibilities. So if the mode is 1, then mode can appear 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times. Okay. Now it cannot appear once simply because if it would appear once, it would not have been the mode. So can it appear 5 times? No. Why? Because the median value is 7 and the 2 values after the median value has to be higher than 7 and the 2 values before the median value have to be less than 7. So 1 cannot come here and here. Now can 1 come in one of these places? Then it ceases to remain as the mode. So what does that imply? It implies that the first 2 values in this series or in this set are both 1. Okay. So we've got 2 values here, 1, 1, and we already know the third value, 7. Now, we also know that the value of the range means the minimum, the difference of the maximum value and the minimum value. We know that minimum value is 1 here because there are no other values possible to the left of 7 and both are 1. So the minimum value is 1. The maximum value will be 1 plus 1 plus 10, which is equal to 11. So this is the series. Now we have only one place to fill up. And the question is, what will be the maximum average of this particular set? And what will be the average here? Mean will be equal to 1 plus 7 plus, we'll put x here, x plus 11 divided by 5. Now there is one condition with x. X cannot be infinitely large because it has to be lesser than 11. 11 is the largest number of the series. Now it has to be greater than 7. Okay. Now in this particular case, what we see is this x will have to lie between 7 and 11. And since it has to be an integer, it will be 8, 9 or 10. And if it is 8, 9 or 10, what value of x will give the maximum value of mean? If the mean has to be maximum, then x has to be maximum. And under the given conditions, it can only be 10. So you have 1 plus 7 plus 10 plus 11 divided by 5. And what is the value? 2, 9, 19, 30. And 30 divided by 5, that is 6. This is the average maximum value for mean as far as this particular set is concerned. Okay. Now, Note here again that the value of mean is 6 and that of median is 7. The value of mean and median need not be the same and in most cases are not same. Now what did we do here? We maximized the value of x. Now in statistics, when we talk about different possibilities, we come to a situation wherein we have maximized and minimize a lot of numbers depending on the situation. So there is a possibility or there is a requirement that you also need to understand maximization and minimization. I'll just take you through that in a simple presentation so that you will get the basic idea of how we maximize and minimize different numbers under given constraints. Okay? So maximization and minimization. Let us see maximization and minimization. So it is a plus b. This is the question. We know that a plus b is equal to 20. And we also know a and b are greater than 1. We also know a and b are integers. Now, can you tell me what is the maximum possible value of a? What is a max? Now, a and b both are greater than 1. A and b both are integers and a plus b is equal to 20. Now, what is a max is the question. Now, given that a plus b is 20 and a needs to be maximum, that means a has to go to the highest possible value, then consequently b has to be the lowest value. B has to be the lowest value. How low can b get? How low can b get? Can b be negative? No, because it is already said a and b are greater than 1. And can b be any other value other than integer? No. So, which is the minimum possible value for b? B minimum is 2, because that is the closest value to 1. So, if b minimum is 2, then a max will be 20 minus 2, 80. Now, this is the basic principle. If you have a sum given already and you have to maximize one term out of the sum, then consequently you have to minimize every other term. Now if you have to minimize one term, then you have to consequently maximize every other possible term. This is the basic fundamental behind maximization and minimization. Let us look at one more possibility before we wind up this discussion. Okay? I'll give you some time after I write down the question so that you can try on in your minds as to how to proceed with this. Let's see. A plus b plus c is 20. A plus b plus c is 20. A, b and c all are greater than 0. A, b and c all are positive, all are integers, all are greater than 0. Okay? A, B, C integers. A, B and C are integers, and also A greater than B greater than C. Here A is greater than B, which is greater than C. Now you have to find out minimum value of A. Minimum value of Now, what is the minimum value of A given these constraints? What are the constraints? A plus B plus C has to be 20. A, B, C are all greater than 0. A, B, C are all integers and A greater than B greater than C. Now, you have to find out the minimum value of A. Think about it for some time in your mind. Now, we know we have to find out the minimum value of A. Consequently, B has to be maximized and C has to be maximized for A to be minimized. Now, we also know A is greater than B, which is greater than C. So, what do we understand? What is the maximum value of B, which is less than A? So B has to be A minus 1. With similar logic, C will be B minus 1 or A minus 2. B minus 1 and B minus 1 is necessarily A minus 1, which is A minus 2. Now you put this in this particular situation, you will get A plus A minus 1 plus A minus 2 is equal to 20. And that will tell us that it is 3A is equal to 23. Now, which gives us the value of A to be 7.66. Now, it's already mentioned that A, B and C are all integers, so A cannot have the value 7.66. Now, we will do a trial. Let A be 7. Now, if A is 7, B is 6 and C is 5. So, the sum will be 18, but necessarily the sum has to be 20. Now, if A is little greater than 7.6, which is 8, it can be 8, 7 and 6. So that will be 21. So if we take away 1 from either 7 or 6, it is basically, or maybe you cannot take away 1 from 7 because then B and C becomes equal. So you take away 1 from 6. So the three values that are possible becomes 8, 7 and 5, and they add up to 20. So what is the minimum value of A under which A plus B plus C is 20 and B and C are lesser than A, are integers, and the value that we will get is A is equal to 8. Okay, this is the minimum value of A that can happen under the given conditions. Okay, that takes us to the end of this presentation. Let's all recap what exactly transpired during this particular session. We looked at what is statistics and the basic measures of statistics. Which are the basic measures of statistics? Mean, median, mode and range. Okay. For a recap, mean is the average value of all the numbers in the set. Median has two possibilities. If the number of entries in the set is an odd number, then median is the middle number when the numbers of the set are arranged either in the ascending or the descending order. If the number of elements in the set is an even number, then median is the mean of the middle two values. Median is the average of the middle two values. Mode is the number that occurs in the set maximum number of times, and range is the difference between the maximum and the minimum values inside the given set. These are the four basic values that we need to understand as far as statistics is concerned. Now we also did maximization and minimization. Maximization and minimization. Now, what is the basic principle of maximization? For a particular number to be maximized, every other element put together should be minimized. And for minimization, if you have to minimize the value of a particular variable in the given equation, then the sum total of all other variables or however they appear in that particular equation needs to be maximized for one given number to be minimized in the equation. Now these are the 6 things that we learned today: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Please do remember that this is the beginning of an iceberg called statistics, and once you understand these concepts only can we move ahead in statistics and move ahead to different and more complex values like standard deviation, variance, etc., which are actually the statistical measures that are used extensively in the industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are clear about all these things that we discussed today in this presentation. Thank you.